Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Cork in the North podcast. Thanks very much for everyone for joining us this week. I hope you're all getting over the Christmas and your New Year has got off to a flying start, and all your New Year's resolutions, I imagine, are all broken now and you're back to your normal self with all your hopes and dreams in the gutter. Positive messaging, that's what we like to share here at Cork in the North. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we crack on with this episode, we need to talk to you about our sponsor, the Doyen Pub on the Lisburn Road, ladies and gentlemen. We're a fan of them and they're a fan of us. It's a fantastic place to go. If you want to go for a pint, you want to go for a bit of food, you want to hire a function room, you want to go and watch an event, you want to go and watch a comedy night, there's loads to do in the Doyen as well. And because they sponsor us, they've given us a code, Cork25, if you want to get 25% off your food bill from Wednesday to Saturday. So when you go down, you speak to them or you book online, put in Cork25 as your voucher code or whatever that is, and 25% will come off your food. It's a great place to take your family, your kids, your friends, go on a date, bring a date. And go in and go, oh, I'll get the bill. You get the bill, you get 25% off it. They think you're a legend. Well, actually, you're up there for thinking. Right, you're getting a discount. That's the most important thing, right? The Doyen Pub on the Lisburn Road. We've been in there a few times. We've performed comedy in there. We're going down there to do one of the podcasts down there. And on the 27th of January, I'm going to be hosting the Six Nations preview night with myself, Devon Toner and Chris Henry, two former Irish rugby players. We're going to be talking all things rugby. Tickets are £12.50, which you can buy on my Instagram or through the Doyen website. So a big thank you to the Doyen for sponsoring this episode of Cork in the North podcast. Please do go and check out a good, really good local pub on the Lisburn Road. If you've not been there before and you want to do something new this year, go check them out. Right, Cork25 for 25% off your food from Wednesday to Saturday. Right, ladies and gentlemen, Cork in the North. Joining me this week in the studio, a singer-songwriter, very talented person, someone we've had in on Q Radio in the morning. And I went, oh, they'd be great to come onto the podcast because I do like talking to people who are sort of like really talented, much more talented than I am. Catherine McGRATH, singer-songwriter, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Thank you very much for coming all the way up from Ross Trevor.
So far to travel. Thanks for
So far to travel. That's mad, isn't it? Thank you very much for coming up. Now, we do appreciate you coming on to the, because when we saw you on the radio, you came in here, and we've actually, me and producer Sean have been looking you up on YouTube and stalking and stuff like that. Very, very, very talented.
Thank you. What's your favourite song?
What's my favourite song?
Testing you on.
The one you just released.
Oh, what's it called?
When you're in the bus and it's your friends and you're on the... Oh, what's it called, Sean? We were just fucking listening to it. What was the one I had?
It's your test.
It was a music video, but you're in the bus.
Talk of the Town.
Talk of the Town.
You're just waiting for me to name one so you can tell.
Don't even know her, or already she's accused me of lying.
No, I appreciate it.
No.
Now everyone's going to go look up.
And what was that song you did acoustically? Did you talk of the Town we were in Q when you did it acoustically?
I did. Oh, Thought It Was Going to Be Me.
Thought It Was Going to Be Me. Yeah, two different songs. There you go.
Yes.
Hey, done my research.
There's a lot of them.
From Ross Trevor.
Yeah.
Catherine, you're a very talented musician. You've done really well for yourself. And you've had quite an eventful life already at the up to your age.
Yeah.
Signing for big global music labels in America, moving to London and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How's it all been going? How are you finding it?
It's good. It's fun. It's kind of... I remember being in school and people saying, like, what do you want to do? You've got to pick your uni course.
Yeah.
And the teacher was like, what do you want to do in university? I was like, well, I just want to be a singer. And she was like, well, you know, you have to pick an actual career.
Yeah.
And this was like a whole thing. And I think I went home and cried and was like, well, I have to pick an actual career.
That's teachers' for you, though.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You can't tell.
You don't turn around to them and go, oh, you've got to pick an actual career. Oh, I want to be a teacher and be as miserable as you. You know what I mean?
No, my sister's studying.
Is your sister studying to be a teacher? Your
Only
sister, I'm sure, is not miserable?
No.
It's the other ones I was talking about.
She's studying to be a teacher because she wants to be the nice teacher that she often didn't have.
Right. And how far is she into her teaching?
She's in her final year.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So will she do secondary or primary?
Probably primary.
Oh, she'll do the little ones.
Yeah, she has
They're easy to manipulate. Is that your dad? Are you sure it is? That's not the rumour around the town.
No, it's so hard to work with kids. Like, you have to have a certain kind of patience that
I wouldn't have that.
No. So respect to teachers.
Respect to teachers, yeah. They probably won't be watching this because they're probably on holiday. Anyway, Catherine, you're doing really well with the singing and songwriting.
Yeah.
How's it going? So, when you were like 18 and you had to pick that career, you said you wanted to be a singer and you started crying. How did you take that feedback, like, from the teacher?
Well,
did you just go like, fuck him?
No, I just was like, okay, what can I do that is in the vein? Like, I like writing songs.
Yeah.
So I looked for a career that was anything to do with writing and applied to do English in the University of Manchester.
Brilliant.
with American studies, because I thought then I'll go to America and I can still do my music. That I was always looking for like an avenue to do music through something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my thinking.
Classic Irish, isn't it? What
It's
can
all
I
about the
do to
visa.
get a visa
Yeah.
to get out of here?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and uni somewhere else. So I applied, I got in, and then I'd been putting these videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Didn't like, never sang in front of people. You know, I was like that person that locked myself away in the bedroom. Mum and dad would listen outside the door and be like, "Oh, you're great," and your mum and dad have to tell you that you're
Oh,
great.
yeah, tell you.
Yeah.
She's great. Yeah, just tell her that and then give her more medication.
And when their friends are over, they're like, "Oh, she's," you know what I mean?
Did you get out? Were you the kid that was always asked to do the turn? Go up there and do a song for us. You know the way like
Yeah.
when parents put their kids up and
Oh, it wasn't just me. It was
Was
the
it?
whole my
Yeah.
whole family's like that. Give us a song. Everyone's family's like that.
yeah. I got
us
asked
a
to do a
song.
turn and stuff like that. Like.
What's a turn?
A turn is like, you know, when you get asked to go up and do a turn, like do a party piece or
Oh, like
do
anything.
a joke, do a
something.
song, do
Yeah.
you know, kids like go up there and do a turn and come do something. Like
What did you do? A joke?
I used to steal comedians' jokes, like Bill Bailey's jokes and Billy Connolly's jokes, and I used to go up and just
Aw.
tell jokes. And then I got the bug from doing it from that.
Oh,
They actually laughed.
was it real? Was it actually funny?
It,
Or was
it,
just
like for
the
a
encouragement you needed?
14-year-old, yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh, see, I
Nowadays
don't
it'd
know
be
any
tragic, but like, you know what I mean, like. But yeah, so what happened then? Like, so you went to you went to
jokes.
Manchester.
So didn't go to Manchester.
Oh right, okay.
I was all set for my backup plan, which because like, how do you become a singer? And people always ask me this. They're like, how do you get into music? And I'm like, I have no solid. I don't think there's like a right or wrong way to do it. So I'd been posting these YouTube videos, kind of with this thing in mind that I wanted people who didn't have to tell me that I'm good at something to be able to tell me if I'm good at it. You know, because on the internet, people can just be mean if you're not good.
Yeah.
So it was almost like, I want to see what people really think. I started posting these covers like Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, whatever
The
songs I was
classics?
listening to. The classics, the good stuff.
Yeah.
And people were commenting nice things and being like, post more. So I was kind of doing that and like didn't really tell my friends about it. And then started getting like quite a few views, a few thousand views.
Yeah,
and it
because
was like,
your Instagram's, your YouTube, like, I mean, your last single was over 370,000 views.
was it?
Yeah, and you've got 30,000 followers on subscribers. You're doing good.
Yeah.
Doing
Yeah.
great.
But that, like, it all just happened from me singing in my bedroom. Like, that was
Yeah.
the start. And this was all prior to the conversation with the teacher. And then I applied to uni because, like, I didn't have a set plan for, like, how I was going to make music happen. I also was, like, terrified of singing in front of people. I'm still singing in the bedroom,
Yeah.
posting these YouTube videos. And then guy that turned into my manager basically commented on one of my YouTube videos. I think it was an Ed Sheeran cover. And it's YouTube. Like, there's like hundreds of weird comments and you're taught about internet safety and stuff. This guy comments and says, "Hi, I work at Warner. Would love to talk to you." So I ignored it. Cause, like,
Top spam or some
yeah,
scam artist.
obviously. Like, you know, people message you and are like, "I'm Taylor Swift's manager." Like,
Yeah, of course
you
you
know.
are, yeah.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, he doesn't work at Warner. Ignored it. Got like a personal message to my page from him. Ignored it. Then like a few months later, my cousin, who also was just doing like fun YouTube vloggy videos at the time, also got a message from him.
This guy's very persistent.
Yeah, and like you think if he's not genuine, you know, they are. They're just, people are just weird.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I still would promote the
harassing,
message,
isn't
don't
it?
trust a message like that, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like to Mum, this guy like is pretending that he works for Warner or whatever. So she called Warner, like the Warner office in London, and was like, "My daughter's getting a message from this man pretending that he works for you." And they were like, "No, like he does actually work for us." So he was real, which like was a surprise to all of us. And at this point I was like, I think I must have been about to turn 18 or something. So
So that must be
was
quite
coming to
scary
an end.
for parents.
Yeah, because
You
she
know,
thought,
like, if you're 17 and there's a man from London messaging
that's persistent, like has now
Persistently
found my
messaging
cousin and is messaging her. So
you. So he turned out to be genuine.
he turned out to be genuine. So he was like, "Do you want to come over to London?" And basically was like, "I work at Warner, but I want to start a management company. Have you thought about writing songs with other people?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've thought about it, but like I didn't know. I've never done that. I don't know how, like, you know, I had not been in the music business. I had no
Just
idea."
posting stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
When they bring you over, where did they put you in a hotel?
Yeah.
So they fly you in, nice hotel?
Nice hotel near Warner, yeah.
And did your mum go with you? Who'd you go with?
Mum came with me, Dad came with me. We had a fun little London trip. It was very, like, I had always been like a stay in a Premier Inn type of gal.
Oh.
Still am. But this this hotel came with a phone. You have your own phone for the trip.
Like mobile phone?
Yeah, but I didn't use it. But
What are we talking? Are we talking a Marriott? What are we talking?
I don't know what it was. It was some kind of
Was
fancy.
it really posh like?
I don't think it was that posh, but for me,
Sheraton.
like...
Was it a Sheraton?
No, it wasn't
Like,
a chain.
like when you went in, like did they carry your bags? And stuff?
Oh, yeah, and it was like, in Zach... Did you ever watch Zach and Cody?
No. I didn't.
No.
Yeah.
Is that
Zach and Cody-
Nickelodeon?
No, Disney.
Yeah.
I don't watch Disney because I'm busy having a life.
This is the... Okay, you have to watch it. It was like Hannah Montana type of show.
Oh, right. I think I just missed that boat.
Well, they live in a hotel and there's like the big, what are they called?
Yeah, the
They
big thing to carry the
luggage on.
about on, and they always write about on it. Like,
All right.
Yeah, and there's like men in suits. That,
Yes,
this hotel had that. It's probably not that fancy of a hotel, but
Yeah.
I'm like from Ireland, like never really travelled, gone to this hotel. You get a phone. There's like,
young Sean also believed that was the mark of a fancy hotel.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, because
right,
we
okay.
both obviously watch Zach and Cody.
Yeah.
It's like it sets your...
So, and when you go to the meeting, when you go into the offices?
I didn't go into the offices then because he was leaving Warner. So his thing wasn't, I want to sign you to Warner. It was, I want to start a management company and help you get established as like a songwriter.
So he was basically looking for talent.
Yeah, he was like, do you want to come over, take a risk, see what we can do, and if it doesn't work out, you can move back home.
Wow.
So I've got my place in Manchester University somehow. And I'm like, it must have been at that point. It must have been the summer because I moved 2 weeks after this, I think.
From Rostrevor to London.
Yeah,
And you were 17 or 18?
18, just
Where
turned
did you
18.
move to? Did they put
I
you in a
moved-
house?
Well, he
Or did
gave
he
me
put
a
you in a
job,
house?
yeah. They found, like, I lived in a normal house. It wasn't his house, but he basically was like, I'll help you get set up. I'll give you a job at my company. I worked for him. I actually did the work, and he owned this management company that he was starting. He was like, you can have a job here, and it means you'll have the flexibility that you can go and write your own songs and whatever, because I'm the boss. So, like, I'll give you the time off to prioritize your career. And the goal is that we'll get you, like, a record deal or whatever, and then you won't need to work here anymore, and you can go on.
Wow, okay.
It was like, yeah,
Dude.
It's like an
yeah.
apprenticeship, isn't it?
it was my first job, and it was really fun.
And who were you living with in the house?
Like a random family in London, but it was so nice.
Were they like, what do you call it? Like digs?
Like
But they get paid to mind you.
no, it wasn't
what
like
it is?
it was like no, he didn't know them. He
So you
just like helped me find. It was like a website in London where you find houses.
Oh, right. And was it nice?
It was really nice. Their daughter had gone to university, and then I moved in, so she was like a complete like mother figure. Like I would be going out, and she'd be like, "Catherine, come on, you're not wearing those heels out. Like, do you have a better coat than that? Like, be practical, and you'll join us for dinner, won't you?" Like, she really. It was a nice place to live.
Oh,
it was
that's
just like
really nice.
renting off a
What
family.
part of London was it?
It was in. It was South Streatham Hill.
Oh, overground. There's no underground there.
I got the bus to Brixton.
Oh, up to the Victoria line.
Yeah.
Brixton's a mad old
Yeah.
spot, isn't it?
I used to know all the stops on the tube.
Oh, yeah. I lived there for so many years. I lived in
Yeah.
England for 16 years.
Oh, whoa.
So, like, I lived in London for years. Then I was in East London. Then I moved to St. Albans in Hertfordshire.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And I lived there for most of my time, which I absolutely loved. But you signed with them there. You signed with this guy anyway. You go with this
Yes,
guy.
that
How
was
does
my management.
Yeah, so how does that go?
Well, I don't think it's the typical way that it goes. I feel like typically now that I've met more people in the business, I don't actually know how everyone starts their journey, but typically when you find management, they just help you set up whatever your meetings and get you from place to place, and they get cut. Like, I don't think every manager gives you a job and like helps. Like, he went way out of his way because he completely believed that something was going to happen. So that was how it worked for me. I don't think that's how it works
Yeah.
for most people.
And how long were you in London for?
2 years, over 2 years.
And did you like it?
Yes and no. I loved it. Like, for the best thing was while I was working in the office. This was before I actually signed the deal with Warner. So I moved over. I'm working in this job Monday to Friday, and I'm like he's setting me up on writing sessions and stuff.
Are you doing any like pub gigs or anything like that?
Oh yeah, open mics. Oh,
Yeah.
so many open mics.
Yeah.
Like, that
It's
was
a bit
so
of a,
hard.
Is it a bit cutthroat scene, the open mic music scene? Because
Yeah.
I used to do the open mic comedy scene.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it was chaos.
Still like the scariest kind of
Yeah.
gigs to do ever.
And dealing with people who are desperate to try and do something.
Well,
Try and
also
get somewhere.
just, and dealing with an audience that doesn't really want to listen, like, care who you are.
Yeah, so you're kind of like background noise sometimes.
Yeah.
aren't you? Yeah.
Which was good. Character building.
You realise like this is what this is. This is work.
Yeah, well,
Gotta do it.
I didn't really like sing in front of people anyway. So there's like the whole thing of like I've moved to London and now I'm performing for people and I'm 18 and I've never really done this. But also like the only time I had ever been encouraged to sing in front of people was my own family being like, come on, you'll be brilliant. And everyone, you know, like you said, that thing when you're at home and everyone's like, oh, you're wonderful. So then to like move to London and everyone's like, there's like 50 people signed up and you have to be good enough to make people listen. It's just a whole different thing.
Yeah. Your parents must have been very worried. Like, it's a very young age to, like, because you hear of stuff of like, you know, young kids who are like footballers or whatever, and they get picked up by a team in England and they move to Liverpool or Manchester United or something like that. You know, my nephew, he's going off to, well, we think he's going off to Charlton in February. He's only 13, but he's going to go for a week's training. Football team, you know, and he's a very good soccer player. And but there could be a chance when he's like 17, he could be. If touch wood it went well for him and you know he got a bit of luck and stuff that he could go and play for a team abroad. Like there must be anxiety for your parents.
Yeah, they're very chilled people.
In the big bad world, big bad city of London. Like,
I don't know. Like my family are very laid back.
They're just like, thank God she's out of the fucking house.
Well, yeah, like not really, but they also like they knew that I wanted to leave home and do whatever. Like they were very proud of me. Mum actually moved over with me with all my stuff. We got the ferry from Warren Point. Sea truck. Do you know the sea truck? To Liverpool. But it's like a worker. It's not like a ferry. It's not like Stena Line.
It's the work truck.
Yeah.
The work ship.
Yeah. Like they ship over
tanker,
things.
like.
You had to have a specific vehicle to be able to get on. And luckily Mum had a big van. So we got on this ship. Like this was literally left from Warren Point, which is so random. But there was nobody else on the boat except like these two, like, I don't know, construction guys or something. And I got on and I'm like really fussy about, like I have to wash my hair every night. Have to have my shower. Just, you know, like you have to brush your teeth. I have to. Yeah. And I didn't have shampoo. And there was nobody else. It's not like there's no shop. I can't buy shampoo. And there were these two construction worker guys and it was like an overnight ferry. And I just remember one of them like gave me their shampoo. And that was like the start. I don't know. I have such a clear memory of just being on this really weird boat that like there was nobody else getting food because there was no...
I've never heard of this.
No, it's not really a thing.
It's just a build like a workers ferry.
Yeah, like I'm sure the kind of people that get on it are probably like employed by somebody in England and you just go over and they're not like it's probably low maintenance like.
And did you sleep on it? It's like 10 hours.
Yeah, there's little cabins.
15 hours.
Yeah.
And is there food, little restaurant?
Well, it's only for like the worker people. So this guy was like, well, there's no menu, but I'll make you like whatever you want. So he just like cooked us. It was such a bizarre.
Christ. There's no menu, but whatever you want.
Well, I mean, like he's like, I have chips and you know, chicken.
I know. What you want? I want salmon.
Yeah.
Where is it? It's in
Caviar.
that fucking sea there. Go and get it. Stop the ship until I get my salmon.
But yeah, it was a really weird experience. So we moved over on this like workers ferry, whatever. Also very emotional. But anyway, I got to London, drove there from Liverpool. And then Mum like helped me move my stuff into the house. She stayed for like a day or two. And then she left. So I'm like literally come from the smallest little place in Ireland.
Yeah.
Have never like we didn't even really go on like holidays abroad. I've not really traveled much. I actually don't know if I'd ever been really anywhere at this point.
You're only 17, like.
Yeah. Only 17. We went on like holidays to Donegal. We went on like camping holidays. We're down to Kerry.
What are you doing for your holiday? I might go to Newry.
Yeah.
Say
Not
nothing,
Newry,
but the
not
canal
Newry.
court, I might be getting lunch in the canal court.
But that is, you know, like when you're from a small town and
You're
like
like, what? I could be going to Dundalk, but don't tell the family. It might happen this year.
pretty much.
That's mad. But when you moved over, like, and your mum left, that must have been a bit of an awkward goodbye, was it? Mum went home, like.
Do you know what? The only thing I remember that just like scarred my whole memory was she left. I think the day she left, I was like, okay, I'm on my own. I'm moving to London. Time to be independent. Like went to walk to the shop.
17, you still can't even drink.
18.
Oh, sorry,
But
18.
yeah. So I'm walking up. The light's red. I'm ready to cross the road. The green man is showing. And I go to cross the road. I don't look because like the light's red. But this cyclist, the cyclists in London don't take into account, runs me over, like knocks me down to the ground in front of all the stopped traffic. So everyone sees me get knocked over. It's my like first proper day in London on my own. Jesus. And I'm like on the ground and like got back up. And he was like, you know when someone asks you, are you okay? And you're like, oh, I just wanted to cry and then had to like walk into the shop completely flustered and everyone was like, oh. and then walked back, put the key into the door to go back into the house, but it was the wrong house. And I was like, why is it not opening? And then realized it wasn't my house because I just moved there. And then it was like, that was my first experience of London alone.
That is mental. I remember.
So yeah, it was very...
What year was that?
2015.
Oh, because I remember knocking a girl down in Brixton on my bike. And I must admit, just wanted to apologise. Can you imagine if that was me?
But I also felt bad for the cyclist, but he should have been looking.
Don't feel fucking bad for them.
I'm so like, everywhere I go now.
Have a helmet on?
I don't know, it was a blur.
I saw a cyclist with a helmet on and a high-vis jacket and he went through a red light. Oh, you're so safety conscious, aren't you? No, you're not. No, you're not. What are you wearing a helmet for? If you're going to break a red light, it's pointless.
The worst thing is the traffic was stopped as well. Like, it was so embarrassing for me.
Yeah, but...
Everyone saw.
Things like that.
This story is right up Andrew Street.
Like, this gets me right. Like, I actually think cyclists should be paying tax. If they want to use the road, they need to abide by the same rules of the road that I use.
I think cycling is good, but yeah, it's quite...
They need to abide by the same rules.
Have you been knocked down by a cyclist?
No,
too?
I go and look for them. That's what I do.
You try to step in their way.
I go
to
behind them
them
and I rev the car behind
Yeah.
them. I always go, it's just the middle-aged dads, isn't it? In loveless marriages and like are out on the bikes on a Sunday because the wife fucking hates you. And she's saying, go out there and lose a bit of weight, will you? And then you can't do anything because the kids are only 12 or 13. You got 18 years left on the mortgage. There's nothing much you can do with your life. But I know what I'll do. I'll go on the road and I'll piss everyone off.
No, they're not all bad.
They are.
And this guy felt bad, I could tell. I wonder if he remembers it.
Did you put in a claim, Catherine?
No.
Catherine, where there's blame, there's claim.
I wasn't business savvy.
I know. How did you end up getting involved in like Warner Brothers and stuff?
So, was working in that job in London, doing a few writing sessions. Basically, I wrote like however many songs. It must have been a couple of months in. Was working with people I'd never worked with, kind of getting introduced to different songwriters and stuff. Because it's like a whole set scene. Like it's not that big of a scene, so everyone kind of knows each other. So I had enough songs together that I'd written, and my manager, the one that moved me over there, was like, okay, I'm going to take you in. We'll set up some meetings now. I'm pretty sure we had a meeting with another record label. Might have been another division of Warner, because there's Warner, which owns like Warner Brothers and Atlantic.
I mean, it's one of the biggest companies in the world, isn't it, Warner?
Yeah, they own like a lot of different labels within. So we went to like another subsection, label, whatever, of the Warner thing, and played them a few songs. And then I remember like my manager being like, no, that's like a joke of an offer. They're basically gonna, put you on a shelf for however many years, and which is like quite a common thing. Like a record label will sign someone and go, we'll leave them in development for this long, and they'll just sit there so that like nobody else can snap them up if it goes big, but they don't have to commit.
Yeah, they're basically buying up as much talent as possible and hope one of them makes it.
Yeah, but like kind of restrict them from doing anything else, because you're like...
It's like a restriction of trade, isn't it? Like, oh, we think you're amazing. You're so super talented. Sign with us. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to make it. You sign with them and it's like, right, you're probably not going to... We're going to make sure that you can't do anything unless it's through us. It's like control.
Yeah.
And did you find like...
But I didn't sign that.
You didn't sign that, yeah.
I didn't sign that. That's what he was like, this is what I think is going to happen if we take this deal. And then we went in... Because we had a plan to go around like a few labels and have different meetings. So we met with Warner Brothers, which was like, this is like the one that you want. That's what I was told. They're like the good, the top, whatever. So we met with Phil Christie, who was, at the time, he was an A&R guy. So like he can like sign people, but you have to run it past the head of the label. Right? So like the A&R guys can be like, I'm interested in this person, run it by the person. And if it's a yes, you sign them. So had a meeting with him and played him a few songs, and he was like, absolutely love it. And he just completely got it. Like there was no doubts.
So you're just sitting in an office?
Yeah, just like singing.
Just go, hi, oh, here we go.
Me and a guitar player and cajon player. And that guy is still my drummer to this day, the guy that came in with me. So he loved it. He was just so nice. And he was like, I want to set you up with this person to write with. I want you to do. And he had all these ideas. And we left the office, and then he got the call right after our meeting that he was being promoted to head of the label, which meant he didn't have to run his decision by anyone. So I was going to be signed. So they signed me like right off of that. And there was no question, like, it was just nice to have somebody so like, absolutely, I believe in it. Yeah. Because like, I didn't know what to expect.
And when this all kind of happened, were you started to go over to Nashville?
Not
How did
yet.
this all kind of like, is Taylor Swift with Warner?
No. She's Universal, I
She's
think.
with Universal. Right, okay.
Yeah.
And when you kind of like deal with Warner and stuff like that, like did they wine and dine you? Did they give you a
Yeah.
fancy hotel with a mobile phone?
Well, I lived there already at this point, so they didn't need to.
Right, okay.
But
Did you
yeah,
buy lunch like?
I mean, they did. I was just very, like, if I was ever in Warner for, like, a photo shoot or something, they're like, do you want anything? I was like, oh, can I have a Cadbury's bar and a cup of tea? Like, I'm not very... I'm sure I could have been like,
I want
can
a
we go for
career and
dinner?
I want it now.
Yeah. I just...
And I want a car and I want a house with my mother.
It was very simple things, you know?
Salmon.
Yeah.
I want my own ferry from Warren Point to London.
No, I did. I actually went to an awards show at one point, and it was, again, like growing up in Rostrevor, like you just eat. I don't know. I'm not a fancy person. I don't have like a big.
You can't be if you're from Rostrevor, really.
No.
Do you know what I
And
mean?
we're not like we're not.
You know what I
fancy
mean? All you
people.
got is what? Yeah, access to the Mourns.
Yeah.
That's
No.
literally all you got.
My family are not very like.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. I've been to
We're-
Rostrevor.
There's a nice, what's it called? East Coast Adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Rostrevor.
Yeah.
It's a nice wee residential.
Rostrevor's good.
Great place. Yeah.
Just go out with someone
Lovely.
from there. Now, you kind of team up with them and stuff like that. And what happens then? What goes forward? Because like, do you turn around to them and go like, can I release something? How does it work? What do they say to you? Like, oh, just sit there for 5 years and develop. Like, how do
Well,
you start doing stuff?
I signed, I think a development deal is like, again, I only know my story. So like what happened to me isn't necessarily typical, but generally you would sign in those times a development deal. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. They just like, prepare you for when the music comes out. We skipped like a lot of my development phase because Phil was like, let's just get the album out. So I kept writing all these songs, and I kind of said, I need to go to Nashville. And what was really good about being signed to Phil specifically was he very much trusted my knowledge of country music, which I'm not sure that's a typical experience. You hear like a lot of stories about like people going on TV shows or being signed to record labels and everything's very controlled. It was not like that.
Yeah.
Like what he liked about me was that I was 18 and I was coming from Ireland. I loved country music and I could name this artist and nobody else had ever heard of them. But he was like, you know what you're doing and you know what you want. And he kind of followed that. So it was not, I felt very listened to. So yeah, I was just writing songs, and I said I'd been to Nashville once with my auntie because I always wanted to go. So I said, I want to do my writing in Nashville. Like, these people just understand the
Nashville
music.
is supposed to be amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it's like,
supposed to be mental. Every pub has like
music coming out of it. Yeah. And not just country music, every kind of music. It's also the number 2, it might actually be the number 1 place now, but the number 2 place in America for hen parties.
Really?
Big party town, yeah.
I thought it'd be Las Vegas or something.
Well, I think that's number 1.
Oh, it's number 1. Oh, sorry.
Unless it's been taken
number
over.
2. What would be the
Nashville.
number 2 place in Ireland for a hen party? I'd say
Athlone.
Carlingford.
Carlingford's near me.
Athlone. I was born in Athlone.
Were you?
I was born in County Westmeath. Then moved to Cork when I was 4.
Would you say Carlingford for hen parties?
Yeah.
Carlingford.
That'd be a big one.
Really?
Or what's that place in Sligo? There's a place in Sligo that people go to. I went there for a stag do once. Or was it Mayo? It was something anyway, but there's a fucking influx of the women with the veils and the straws.
Yeah, there's
and
loads of
all
those
that,
in
like.
Belfast. The pedal.
Oh,
I
bet.
swear to
what
God,
Nashville's full of.
I'm not being funny with you, but if ISIS blew that up, it wouldn't bother me. Like if there was a news report on BBC at night, ISIS have blown up the pedal bus in with all the screaming hen parties and stag do's on it. Because I'd say a lot of people in Northern Ireland would be like, I mean, I don't agree with them overall, but I do like the odd job they do.
No, but they're huge in Nashville too, and everyone hates them.
Yeah, Nashville, Tennessee.
Everyone hates them, but there's so many people on
Where do you
them
fly
all.
into when you fly to Nashville?
Nashville.
You
There's
go
an
straight
airport.
to Nashville?
Yeah.
So where do you go? Do you have to go from Heathrow or do you go? There's nothing from Dublin.
You go from Dublin.
There's a direct flight from Dublin to Nashville?
No, there's not a direct flight. Oh, so you mean we're in America?
Yeah. So where do you have to?
You
you
can
have to
go to like Chicago or Texas.
You have to do a connection then.
Yeah, but you do your customs in Ireland. If you're ever going to America, go from Ireland.
Hey, we've all been.
Yeah.
Sean's been. Sean, you did your honeymoon in America, didn't he?
I did indeed, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
New York, Vegas,
New
San
York,
Francisco.
San Francisco. And you had the airport lounge on the way out, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It was nice. You got me.
Fancy?
I got him that for his wedding present.
Did you?
Bought him the airport lounge experience before he flew.
Aw.
Little
It
treat
was
for me
lovely.
there, Catherine.
He's a nice man, sometimes.
I'm just that kind of guy, and his wife is pregnant now, but we'll see who's the dad of that child when that baby's born.
Is that your first baby?
It is, yeah.
Oh.
So, looking forward to it.
He's only 21.
No, I'm 27.
Oh,
So cute, isn't it? It's amazing.
Fun fact about Nashville: it is a twin city with Belfast. Did you know that?
oh, I do know because there's a festival like Belfast to Nashville Songwriters.
Yeah, so it's sister cities.
Yeah.
They are.
They're sister cities.
Yeah,
Yeah, but what does that mean?
it
you know-
means
Because
that,
I
like,
know there's like
before this, like in colonial times, like twin cities used to mean that like cities used to be designed, like the urban part of the city used to be designed the same way, so they would have shared like architecture blueprints for buildings and stuff like that. So like their city halls might have looked the same, and like their public library and stuff like that. But I don't know what it necessarily means now. There's just probably something to do with grants.
But is there something in Belfast that mirrors like a building in Nashville or something?
There could be.
That's so
There's other
interesting.
towns.
There's
There's
a
like,
massive history of paramilitaries in Nashville.
there's a branch of the IRA.
There's a
yeah.
branch of the IRA and the UVF. The UVF and the UDA are all like pals over there. Like.
There is a lot of people like there's a lot of people in Nashville that well in America in general that are just like obviously their ancestors came from Ireland.
Yeah.
There's a massive tie. Like when I'm in Nashville, I always say it reminds me of home. The whole like in Nashville they have like songwriter rounds. So you sit with like 4 songwriters, take a turn to sing a song and tell stories, and everyone kind of chats on stage. And that always reminds me of like sitting down in the pub, telling stories or whatever.
Because country music is so big. Like, it's massive. Like,
Yeah.
Luke Combs, and I've obviously got the big ones, but the country scene in Ireland is so strong, especially up here.
It is now.
Like, it's massive. Because I often think country songs, you have to write something about money, train,
Trucks.
trucks, something like that. I was
Beer.
loading my truck and I was farming. Don't leave me, baby.
Yeah, but
Stuff like
that's like the
generic stereotype,
yeah.
isn't it?
But there's so much. This is like why I always am like people have to go to Nashville because if you don't like country music, you just haven't heard your type of country music yet. Like I genuinely believe that. There's so much like there's
I like it. Like, I like it.
Do you know Maren Morris?
Mm-hmm.
She sings, you know the song In the Middle. Why don't you just meet me in the middle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's a country singer.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
But Taylor Swift started out country, didn't she?
Yeah. And I think country is just storytelling, like, because there's so production wise and like genre wise, it's so blended and blurred.
Yeah.
Like for me, what makes me country is the storytelling thing. And that for me comes from like growing up in Ireland, going to the pub. My dad wrote music. Like, so for me, a lot of what country music is just storytelling. And there's so much of that in Ireland.
Yeah.
So I can see musically like Nashville and Belfast being.
Yeah. I've looked up
Sister.
the definition. So a sister city isn't the same as a twinned city. So a sister city, it only became a sister city of Nashville 23 years ago. And it was done in hopes that the troubled city of Belfast could rebuild its social foundation and exchange cultural
Well, that's failed.
traditions.
No, there's still time.
I know. We've got infinity.
We can
I'm only
help
joking.
this.
That's mad. I didn't know
That's
that.
really,
man.
it's actually
You know
really
what?
cool.
I'd love to go to Nashville, actually, just for the crack.
You have to go to Nashville.
Do
It's so fun.
Do you like the music industry? I know you like the music, but what about the industry? Do you feel it's a bit full of chancers? People are out to exploit people all the time? Or how do you feel in it now? Are you feeling quite protected? Or like, what's the kind of gripes about it?
I like the music industry. That's such like a big thing. But like,
Have you been shat on yet? Like,
well,
do you feel
I think
like-
it depends how you take
Yeah.
everything. Like, I don't know. It's like, does anyone like any industry? Do you know what I mean?
yeah, bit of a negative question.
It's industry is such a, like, I love being in music, and I
Yeah.
think 99% of the people that I've met have been really nice people.
What's been your best day at work?
Oh my god, what do you count as work though? No, it doesn't feel like work. None of it.
Who is the most famous person you've met in the music in your industry?
Well, Taylor Swift, but I didn't meet her through her business meet. I met her at her show.
As in, like, shook her hand.
As in, like, I went backstage. Like,
Yeah,
she does
stood
this.
next to her, like.
Yeah,
chatting away to her.
cried in her face. I didn't chat to her, I just cried.
What's she like?
So nice. So she picks, I don't think she does it anymore. She used to pick people, like 15 people from every single show, like die-hard fans, to come back and meet her after the show. Like her mum or like her team pick people. I'd seen her yet. I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan. Like, I love Taylor Swift. She's the reason I got into country. So I heard Taylor Swift and then heard like Rascal Flatts, Carrie Underwood. but like just love Taylor. Like if you listen, everyone that listens to my music
she's
is
been
like, I
the
hear
artist
a
in
bit
the
of Taylor
world.
Swift. Yeah, everyone loves Taylor Swift. But I love Taylor Swift. So been to her shows loads of times. Knew that this was a thing. Like if anyone really likes Taylor Swift, they knew that she was going to pick people from the audience to meet her.
Yeah.
So like people, it's so different now because she's like become really, really, it's become cool to like Taylor Swift again. I liked her when it wasn't cool.
But how do you get picked? What do you have to do? Fill in a form?
No,
Like
just
stalk her
anything.
online? Like how do you do it?
Sometimes, I don't know. Like sometimes it's that she would just pick like there's a really young kid and it's obviously their first concert, or just somebody that looks like they're having a really good time, or she has like stalked people online and like invited them to her house.
I've seen those on YouTube, and they
Yeah.
think she's not going to be there, and then we're going to play the music, and she just comes out the door, and they're like, and you see men, like some guys in the room as well, and they just go. There was somebody that met Taylor Swift, and do you remember the clip when he went, oh my god, I've just died. Like, I am dead.
Yeah.
Like, I am so dead. I'm actually dead. This is me dead. I can't believe what's happened. I've just met Taylor Swift. I'm actually dead. Oh my god, this is heaven. I'm in heaven because I'm dead.
That was me when I met her.
Was it?
Yeah. Like, so I dressed, so everyone used to do this thing at Taylor Swift. Well, they still kind of do, but where you dress up. So like she has a song called Wonderland. Alice. It's like a whole song about a relationship based on the Alice in Wonderland theme. So I dressed up as the Queen of Hearts, and my cousin was Alice in Wonderland. And we dressed up for like all of her concerts, and I made t-shirts and stuff. So we were seeing her in Dublin, and the opening act was Vance Joy. Vance Joy. I always get like say Foy Vance and Vance
Foy
Joy,
Vance.
but no, it was Vance Joy. It wasn't Foy Vance. It was Riptide.
He's from Bangor, isn't he?
Yeah, I saw him too. He's really good.
Foy Vance is from Bangor, yeah.
Yeah. I love him as well, but he didn't open for Taylor Swift at this point. So Vance Joy was on the stage singing, and me and my cousin were like, just like dancing along, like supporting the opening act, having fun. Because like I like to go to concerts for music. Like even if I'm not there for the opening act, I like to listen and whatever. So most people were like chatting and whatever. We were dancing away, and her mum must have like noticed that we were like, I don't know.
Taylor Swift's mum.
Taylor Swift's mum, she's so nice.
So is she like one of these people that goes, right, Taylor, I'll go and pick them? And she goes out and looks
Yeah,
around and
yeah.
pick her. It's mad, isn't it?
Well, I think there's like more people, but Taylor's mum, like you want to be picked by Taylor's mum because that's like the top,
That's like top tier of priest.
Yeah, it's like the dream.
Yeah.
So we were dancing along, and then Taylor's out, and she must have been on her second song, and we were like by the sound booth thing at the side of the stage. Well, not the side of we were in the audience, but the sound booth was there. And then I saw her mum, and we were like, oh my god, it's Taylor Swift's mum. So we were like waving, trying to get her attention. Didn't realize she was coming over to us. And then she was like, have you girls met Taylor before? And we like knew. And we were like, no, and like started crying. And then she was like, okay, we like you're gonna meet her after the show, and like gave us this little piece of paper and was like, come here, you've been picked for like the
meet and greet or whatever.
Yeah, it was called Loft 89. It was on the 1989 tour. And it was like we just won a Grammy. Like everyone around us knew what this meant. And we were like crying. Everyone was like hugging us and congratulating us. And like, it was this mass. And then we ran to the bathrooms to call our parents and be like, you don't need to pick us up till like an hour later because we're going to meet Taylor. And like the security was like, stop running. And we were like, we're meeting Taylor Swift. It was like this massive
How
thing.
old are you at this time?
Like not young enough that I should have been behaving like, I was like 17. I would still be like that. So yeah, we went back and met Taylor, and I just cried. It was like I don't think I've never met, because now I've met like quite a few people like through music and stuff, or been to a lot of shows, and I don't really like, I can talk to people,
Yeah.
but not Taylor Swift.
Did you tell her you played guitar? Did she actually give you time? Like, what's the?
Yeah, she made cookies. Like she baked cookies for everyone, and like there's pizza and like there's all this food, and you like hang out, and then she comes in and sort of goes around and talks to everyone for like 10 minutes. And I just cried. She was like, wow, did you make this? This is amazing. You're so sweet. And I was like, they just didn't speak. Like she just talked at me for like 10 minutes. And then I gave her a hug and was like, thanks for writing your songs. And that was it.
But you know what the mad thing about it is like, imagine if you went to like say school the following day, like, and a teacher goes like, what did you do last night? You just look at them and you go, I was just with Taylor Swift. Oh, she's such a bore.
She made cookies.
She made cookies. She's like, oh, look, I made cookies. The cookies were awful. You know, like, you're just like slagging her off as if like, Taylor's ringing again. Oh, will you just leave me? And I just want a day to myself, Taylor. Like, you know what I mean?
But yeah, that was like that's like the most famous.
Yeah.
Well, to me, the most like amazing person that I met.
So you're back living in Rostrevor?
Yes.
Are you back in the family home?
No.
No.
I'm in an Airbnb. I'm not committing to one place because when I lived in London, this was part of the reason why I didn't like living in London. I was just away too much. It's so annoying paying that much rent
Yeah.
for a damp little place in London. I moved around a lot for like a damp place in London, and then you're like in Nashville for a month, and then you're on tour or whatever. So my goal is to be like Nashville, London, a bit of home. So it's Christmas time. I'm home. Like everything's very start of the year, planning where I'm going to be, what's going to happen. So I'm home for now.
So you're home just for a while, and you're doing a bit of writing and all that.
Yeah, I'm like walking in the mountains, and I really like. I feel I'm just very, and I think it's like a part of. It's a little bit my age. Like I'm 26, and it's also me that like I just wherever I am, I kind of want to be somewhere else.
You can't settle.
Yeah, I can't settle.
Yeah.
But it's good.
No, that's good. And you also have to experience life to write about life.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like people think like you need times off to sit and think and do nothing and have a coffee on a bench and look at a boat and just, you know, dealing with whatever's going through your head. I imagine your life, your family, work, your dreams, your ambitions, relationships, friendships, whatever. And in the back, and you know, that's how you come up with stuff. I was sitting in a coffee shop there last week and I was just on my own, like just thinking. And then I'm actually thinking about like, about my new show and what I'm writing about and what I want the audience to feel when they leave and what I want them to think when they're watching me. And it's not just like, oh, I'll just sit here and just write that.
No,
that doesn't happen like
that.
But anyone that comes from like a creative performance area or background, like, oh, just sit there and write a song. Oh, if it was that easy, everyone would have done it.
Yeah.
You have to kind of suffer. Like, you have to suffer for your...
Well, also,
you know
like,
what I mean?
when you're trying to do something, you can't do it. Because you're thinking too hard about it.
Sometimes I imagine you could be lying in bed or, you know, do you know what's really good for me? When I'm really tired, that's when I write.
Yeah, same.
Because I'm so relaxed and my mind is kind of free from the stress of the day.
Well, I do that sometimes that like I'll wake up from like a dream and I'll like have written a song in the dream and then I'll sing it into my phone. And in my, like in the dream, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I sing it into my phone. Sometimes I don't. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I wrote an amazing song last night. What was that thing? And then I don't remember it. So I sing it into my phone sometimes, but then I listen back in the morning and it's not like, it's me going like,
Yes. Taylor, you're such a stalker. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Katrin, you going to sing a song for us?
I am. I'm going to sing a song about how everyone makes New Year's resolutions and then breaks them, and doing that with a relationship and just being like,
and then after 6 weeks they're putting stuff on Instagram like, you know, when will I learn to trust again? You know
all
what I mean?
single ladies.
All the single ladies, yeah.
It's very relevant.
Trust has to be earned. No, you know what I mean? All this kind of the tragic stuff, like, you know, deleting all pictures of their partners and all that, like, putting up inspirational quotes.
Yeah, I think it's so funny how like the new year comes around and everyone like thinks that's going to change. I just have always found that a funny thing to think about.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because to me, it's like, it's just going to be tomorrow.
You can just start a resolution any day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, just false resolutions in terms of everything's going to be okay, and it's not.
Well, Katrin McGrath on Cork in the North podcast, thank you so much for coming in. She's going to play us out with her song Next New Year. So off you go.
This new year was meant to be magic. Now I'm by myself at 1 a.m. trying to understand it. This new year was meant to be different. Resolutions to forget the past are already broken. And I want so bad to believe it's just bad weather, that somehow we'll make it through, and next year it'll all be better. And the confetti will fall, broken glass on the floor, and the fireworks will look even brighter. Counting down to midnight, holding hands in line, making promises when we should know better. You won't let me down when you wake up sober. You'll stick around when the party's over. You won't let my heart break, there'll be no tears. Next new year
say that this year we're gonna make it. Next New Year, there won't be sad songs. We'll just play a fairy tale of New York, and you'll kiss me, make my heart stop. The confetti will fall, broken glass on the floor, and the fireworks will look even brighter. Counting down to midnight, holding hands in a line, making promises when we should know better. You won't let me down when you wake up sober. You'll stick around when the party's over. You won't let my heart break, there'll be no tears. Next New Year, say we'll make it. Say we're fine. Say this New Year's not goodbye. Say this time it's not the end. And you won't let me down when you wake up sober. You'll stick around when the party's over. You won't let my heart break, there'll be no tears. Next New Year.
McGrath, thank you so much. That was
Thank you
amazing.
so much. Yeah, just a little depressing note to end it
Hey,
on.
this is what this podcast is all about.
It's fine. We all break our New Year's
We all break our
resolutions.
news. Catherine McGrath on Cork within our podcast. Thanks to everyone for joining us this week. Please do sign up to the Patreon as well, £3 a month for extra episodes. And don't forget the Die-In Pub on the Lisburn Road is our sponsor, and also for Cork 25 for 25% off your food Wednesday to Saturday. They support us, so we would like to support them. Catherine McGrath, thank you so much. Check her out on the Instagram. We'll put a link in here to all her socials and all her links on Spotify as well, and YouTube, where you can subscribe to her YouTube channel. Check up on her, see where she is performing later on in the year, and please do go and see a really, really talented lady from Ireland as well, doing great things in the music industry. Thanks everybody. Cheers, Catherine.